everybody. Welcome in. Derek Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. It's like 150 degrees outside already, and I am wearing a hoodie because I got this AC right in my face. And I'm not going to lie, it makes me, I'm like freaking out cold. Not freaking out, but I'm cold. I'm cool. So there you go. It's a real toaster out there, a real pressure cooker, which are those are the things you say when it's like, oh, it's hot as hell. Oh my God, we're roasted. It's a real pressure cooker. It's hot as hell. I stood in the direct sunlight at the hottest portion of the day on Saturday for 3 hours and 30 minutes straight and didn't move once and drank 2 small bottles of water. No complaints. I was impressed with me, as I always am. I was the MC at Big Dan's Dirty Donut Race. That is a gravel/road bike race in beautiful Martin, Michigan at the high school. I showed up. Give it a microphone. And I was announcing the awards. All right, first place, adults 20 to 29. Let's bring up so-and-so. Get on the podium. It was something, though, because if there's video of this, it'd be outrageous. So at this high school, there's like the football field, and I'm on the opposite side where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be on this one side where the podium is, and you announce the winners. And I thought I had a little more time, so I was rooting on a friend of mine was in that race. So I was going to see him finish, you know. And then I realized that it was time to go. I had to get over to the opposite side of the football field to announce race winners. So I go, Jesus. So I take off and I'm running like as fast as my little Armenian legs will go. And I'm actually right at about the 50-yard line running across the field. And I've got my Crocs on in like all-terrain mode with the strap on the back, so I know I'm good. But then the toe, the front of the Croc, kind of got gripped onto the grass, and it tripped me. And I went flying like I face planted, and the Croc comes flying off, and I'm like, oh my God, my glasses fall off. My glasses go one way, my phone goes the other. My Croc, I got one Croc off. I'm laying there like, Jesus, fuck, shit. So I gotta throw it back on, take off running. I get over to where I need to be, and Donut Dan has announced one award, and I go, give me the mic. I got to do this. This is my job. You paid me good money to be here. Thank you. Now, but I didn't realize that he's giving out. It's pretty much like everyone who was there got a goddamn award. Holy shit! And at one point, he says, "Hey, can you pick up the pace a little?" And I'm like, "What?" Because, you know, I like, all right, third place. You're like, there's kids awards. I go, hey, high five, great job. Get up on the podium. We're going to take a picture. You're the star, you know? And then midway, Dink, hey, can you speed it up? I'm like, well, dude, you're the one who has 8,000 awards you're giving away. I am crushing it here. He almost needs like 3 stages for each, because he's got like 4 races. Now, in this race, you start pedaling, and there's donut stops. For every donut you eat, they take 5 minutes off of your time. We had one guy who, you know, it took him like an hour to pedal, but he ate so many donuts that his like time was so incredible. It took him like 1 minute. The all-time leader for the weekend, though, was one dude ate 17 donuts But a couple chicks eat like 13, 14, maybe 15 donuts. Wow. You had to eat at least one donut. But all in all, it was a good time. And I got out of there and I got in the car and I looked in my farmer's tent. Like, look at this. You can kind of see it, make it out. Like my neck and face are brown and my upper body below the neck is white. Look at that. I don't know if it's, yeah, okay. It does it justice a little bit. God, I got an old man neck. That's gross. Cover up easy. All right. Father's Day. And then I was busy as hell because Saturday comes and goes. And then we go off to a graduation party. And I just love open houses because the food. I hadn't eaten all day, like literally all day. I woke up. I did 3.5 hours at the thing. And then I come home. Pooh Bear and I get cleaned up. We go to a graduation party. They got awesome food. Yes, love it. Okay, fantastic. Then we go to Meijer. We got to get all the ingredients for the Father's Day shish kebab event the next day, yesterday. Okay, so I get all this food prep. I've made 3 marinades. Again, I'll leave the recipe in the show notes for the Eric Zane Show podcast, Slaughter the Turks Shish Kebab Festival. Now, on the recipe, it'll say marinate them for 2 hours. Do not marinate them for 2 hours. Marinate them for 12 hours. And, okay, so I've got the beef, I've got chicken, and I've got shrimp. Now, in the past when I've done this, I have people like, do their skewers and hand it to me, and then I'll cook it. But that's a bad idea because, it might take longer to cook one meat than the other. Like the chicken might take longer than the beef or whatever. And the shrimp for sure is, you can't. So I had done that in the past and it sucked. So I was planning on doing it again. But Charity Scam Mike says, don't take everyone's order. Just put all of the meat onto the skewers, as many skewers as it takes. All of the chicken onto all the skewers, and then the vegetables. Cook. Shrimp is last because it cooks so fast, and then just put it all in a big ass, a baking dish, and then people will just grab what they want. Then it's cooked perfectly, and there's no stress. I go, Jesus, fuck! I've been making this for years. Why are you just saying this now? Son of a bitch. I go, that's a fantastic idea. I'm glad. I feel so stupid for nothing. He goes, no. I go, well, come help me. So he puts all the beef onto one skewer. Well, 2. And just plop it on there. Indirect heat. And then chicken, good to go. Veggies, fantastic. My God. Got it all done. Ate like kings. Fantastic. While I was there, Pooh Bear gave me a Father's Day gift. I guess her and Madison and Jackie or whoever, I don't know. I guess they pooled their money because they got me one of these Blackstone grill tops. It's like a big ass griddle that like everybody loves these things, these Blackstones. And I go, oh, this is fantastic. And Charity Scam Mike sees it and goes, oh, my God. I go, what? He goes, you're going to hate your life. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Actually, he didn't tell me this out in front of everybody. He, bent my ear when no one was. He goes, those things are a lot of work. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you got to, season them so that the steel is just right for cooking, and then you got to season them after you use it, and then cleaning them is a pain in the ass, and you got to buy all this. Make sure you buy the cover for it. And I'm like, don't tell me these things. This will be perfect for up north. So that was good. I also got another gift that I don't want to describe it to you. I want to show it to you. But like an asshole, after I started the show, I realized I didn't have it with me. So that's got to wait. till tomorrow. Okay? I'll do that. But it was great seeing Dad and everybody that was there. Had a good time. Father's Day, but it kind of went in the shitter afterwards because, oh boy, I had been having problems because we took the camper. Because I had Eric, Diana, Jackie, Justin, Madison, Jackie's dog, Cece, and we didn't want to be all packed into a car, you know. As Nick says, Blackstones are great, way easier than scrubbing a bunch of pans. I thought so. I'm not going to let him. He's an idiot. Macon says, did you bring any camper cigs? No. What's wrong with you? So, you know, yesterday was when the weather started to turn to the sweltering heat that we have right now, and it's really, really cooking. But we're in the shade, and I got the generator on the thing, so it's staying nice and cool in there. So, you know, when we're getting ready to leave, we can just jump right into a nice, cool camper. It'll be great, no problem. But I had been having issues because you got two things on the camper. You're sitting there behind the wheel, and it's like a car, and you turn on the AC, and it's blasting on you. And then since it's so damn hot, you kick on the generator, and you run the AC so that the whole thing doesn't get hot, so that your passengers don't, you know, so that they're not sweltering. So, but the AC in the dash while I'm driving, it had malfunctioned recently. And I took it into the place. They go, blew a fuse. No big deal. I go, okay, great. So they blew it, they replaced it, and then they said, okay, and they, Now, I didn't even know where the fuses were located on this thing, but they said, in case it blows again, this is where you go. Here's a replacement fuse. I'm like, well, that's weird. First of all, why did it blow in the first place? It's the first time it's ever done that. Second of all, you're giving me a replacement fuse. Now, I asked for it, but still, I did that more like hey, just in case. But I didn't really think it was going to go again, you know? Sure as shit. We're getting ready to leave. I start the fucking thing up. I turn the AC on full. Nothing. I'm like, oh, no. So I pop the cover off where the fuses are. I get the fuse that they gave me just in case. And I pull the other one out, put the new one in. It blows. Now I'm like, fucked. Shit. All right. Well, no problem. We'll get home. And I got the generator on, so the AC is blowing inside of the unit, which is, you know, it'll be a little bit uncomfortable in the front because the sun's beaming in from the west, but not the end of the world. But then I'm driving, and all of a sudden I notice that there's sweat rolling off of my fucking face, like when the guy is flying the plane in the movie Airplane. Horrible reference. A few of you might get it, but probably not a lot of you. I'm like, why the fuck am I so hot? Then I realized I'm falling asleep. So I said to Pooper, I go, hey, can you make me a cup of coffee? She plugs coffee maker in. She goes, there's no power. I go, holy shit, that explains the generator's off. Well, turn the generator on. I don't know why the fuck it went off. She tries to turn it on, won't go on. I'm like, what the fuck? So now we have no AC inside of this thing. It's hotter than a cattle truck. I go in, the dog's like, I go, bust open the windows fast before we die. So all the windows are open, and there's like a curtain to my left, you know, for the window. So when you pull over, you can put the curtains over. It blows right into my face. I'm blind. I'm like, God damn it. Somebody tie this fucking curtain. So this is all gone to shit in a matter of moments. What was a great day is now getting more complex by the minute. So we kind of like muscle through an hour of travel. I pull over at like a truck stop. Jesus Christ, got to take a break. Try to start the generator. It's like it won't work. I'm like, what the fuck? This has never given me a problem before. This is horrible. So then I go into the truck stop. I got two problems. Two ACs are out. In dash, where I'm driving, and in the back of the rig. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So I go and I buy I buy a whole thing of fuses. Now, the last time I pulled the fuse out at my dad's house, I used a pair of his pliers, and I didn't take them with me. So I go, fuck it. I got strong fingers. So I reach into where the fuse is, and I try to pull it out, and I'm so fucking weak, I can't pull it out. It's like in there. I need a pair of needle nose. So I go marching back in the goddamn truck stop. I go, lady, you got needle nose? She goes, yeah, right there. Get the needle nose. Pay $12 for the needle nose. I was actually impressed at the cost. Typically, you go to a truck stop, and you need a tool. Like a pair of needle nose, I thought that was going to cost me at least $700 or $800. Like, holy shit. Get the needle nose. Yank the old fuse. Put in the new fuse. Start the rig. It works. It works. AC blasting on me. All right, one problem solved. But still, it's not solved. That fuse should not be blowing. Or, yeah, like going out. Jeremy says, I've got strong fingers. Is that from all the finger blasting you do? No, I don't finger blast. So now I'm like, God damn it. Bring the thing home. We limp to the finish line. Today I start that generator. Starts right up, runs fine. But there's a problem, okay? It shouldn't be doing that. Those things, that's a Cummins generator. It's like they invented generators. Something's amiss. So I call the RV place. They go, okay, it's under warranty. Call. These are the people that fix it. So I call this guy, picks it up. This is just an hour ago. I go, hey, so he goes, what's going on? I go, well, yeah. So I start telling him the same thing I just told you, but a very much abridged Reader's Digest version with less swearing. And like mid-word, the phone, beep, beep, beep. I look, call failed. I'm like, what the fuck? Call back. Start, same story. Same thing. Call drops. I'm like, what the fuck? I call him back. He goes, Eric. I go, yeah. He goes, okay, just bring it in. Just bring it in. We'll get it fixed. If before the call drops out on us, just bring it in. I go, all right, buddy. No problem. Shit. Megan says Bruce, who used to work with us, has an RV repair company there in Jenison for the summer. Nice. That is great to know. That is great to know. I'm going to take it over to these guys, though, just because of the warranty thing. I'm sure that would still work. Yes, excuse me while I stick my finger in my ear, but it's itching. So that's kind of like put a weird bow at the end of my Father's Day, but no big deal. No big deal. We have a Big Fraud Wednesday planned, ladies and gentlemen. This week, Ben and I will be reviewing current episodes of the beloved Free Beer and Hot Wings show on another edition of Who Are These Free Beers? It happens Wednesday. You can check it out live on Patreon. After that, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast featuring another 1 minute of the Bomity podcast with our pal Ben Glaze. Seabear 495 needs some advice. Easy. Would you train your replacement if you were in my situation, knowing that after that they are going to fire you? All right. Well, look at it this way. Based on the information I know now, Eric Zane 10 years ago would say, sabotage that place. Do whatever you have to do to burn every bridge that there is. That's probably where I would go. And while that may be more fun for you, Bear 495, and might be more satisfying, probably is not going to help you in the long run. Nick says, be such an asshole that the trainee quits. Maureen reminds us that if you quit the job, you do not get unemployment. Let me just say this. These are all good points. Well, not all of them. Be such an asshole that the trainee quits is not a good point. And Cole saying quit now is not a good point. Nor is ZZ from 10 years ago a good point. I think you take your time, as much time as you can, in training this person. In the meantime, you being a good soldier, if this is true that you will get fired, will ensure that you can get unemployment. Megan says train him wrong. Don't listen to that either, please. Because at the end of the day, if you play your cards right, you can get a solid reference with these people. And maybe some type of severance that they were planning on giving you, but if you're an asshole, they wouldn't do that. There's a million terrible reasons, a million wrong reasons why. Wait a minute. There's a million good reasons why you should be a good soldier and do this, my friend. All right? Also, the job may have resources at your disposal, office equipment, things like that, that might help you in getting prepared for your next endeavor. Make sure that you've got all your contacts from your email. I'm not sure what it is that you do, if this is factory work or what. But, yeah, maybe also maybe mending a fence in some way, in as casual way as possible to ensure. I'm looking out for you 2 steps down the road. All right? Megan says, but if you're getting fired, do they really want a reference from them? Well, at the end of the day, you don't want holes in your resume. Again, I don't know all of your situation here, but you asked my opinion, and that's what I think. That's what I think is going on. I don't think it would behoove you to do this poorly. Kenny with an idea. Is this the start of a new Dear Meathead Jr. segment? I've got a suggestion from Rob. It says upper decker first, then pour the concrete in the toilets. Maureen writes, I refused to quit and made my bitch boss fire me. And she fought my unemployment. But I won. Take that, bitch. Need to remind you, folks, that at 11 a.m. today, I have the staff meeting for the radio station. So there will be an act 2 of today's podcast. All right. Travel issues, I covered that. Had a good time for Father's Day. We did have one reminder of why traveling, EZ, Pooh Bear, and both daughters is a horrible, horrible plan. Last year, we traveled in the camper to New York City, stayed at an RV park right in Jersey City, and then we saw the sights for 7 to 10 days. It was great. However, what took place was a lot of fights between these two. So much so that they agreed that they would not go on trips together anymore. I had nothing to do with it. I just kept my mouth shut. So they're not, Jackie and Justin and their dog are going with Pooh Bear and EZ to Maine. And then next year, it's Madison's turn. Because yesterday, even just the day They start fighting. Over what? I don't know. I think I remember. I was driving, and I'm doing my usual 55 to 60 miles an hour. I've got no one in front of me. I'm traveling straight. And I want to text the guy who I bought the RV from if he's got any tips to get this thing fixed. So I text him. I go, yo, and by the way, I didn't mention this, but this is a brand new RV. This is like a 2020. I gave the old one away. I traded it in at the camper show. This is a brand new. This has like less than 1,000 miles on it. I'm the first owner of this fucking thing. That's what made this so goddamn frustrating, is that it's brand fucking new. How the fuck can this possibly be happening? You know, the last one was starting to fall apart, and I was like, fuck it. Trade it in. So anyway, where was I? The girl. Okay, I'm driving, and I'm texting the guy who I bought it off of at the dealer, and I'm like, dude, this thing is this fucked. What the fuck is going on here? Pay for this goddamn thing, and here I am sweltering my dick off. It still smells like a new car, and son of a bitch. You know what it smells like? New car and my balls. Because I'm sweating. Anyway, Madison starts freaking out because I'm texting. I go, I know. I'm sorry. She does not like that at all. She's, you were rolling in a death trap, and she's really. I'm like, easy, relax, it's gonna be okay. So of course I put the phone down. I'm just 2 hands on the wheel, trying it. She's yelling at me. Well, Jackie's like, stop, enough, and that's all it took. And then boom, they're like a couple of rams fighting. Fucking terrible. Question that was asked, and it's a good question. Why doesn't your son and his family ever go with you guys? I don't know. Last year, Jim went with us to my dad's house, and this year I invited them, and he goes, awesome, yeah, okay, sounds good. And then the day before, I go, hey, is this cool? I never heard back from you. He goes, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm gonna be doing chores all Sunday. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't ever say anything. I'm not the one. I'm either like, you're gonna go or you're not. I don't ask. I try not to ask too many questions. Now, I didn't ask a question other than, are you gonna go? And I don't care what the reason is. It's totally fine. I'm not that guy. I need to know. But he writes, oh yeah, I'm big chore day Sunday. Now in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no fucking way that's true. But if you ask him what color is the sky, he's going to tell you pink, even though it's blue. So, again, I don't care what his excuse is. It's fine. I don't mind. But then on Facebook, there's pictures posted of him hanging out with his father-in-law. So I'm like, whatever. Doesn't even bother me. I wish he would have just said, oh, I'm going over to my father-in-law's. I would have been, oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you were with us last year, so that's totally understandable, reasonable. You don't need to make up a fucking fairy tale. You don't need to concoct some scenario to try to protect me. Just tell me the goddamn truth. This has been Um, the number one thing that has always prevailed in my relationship with my son, ask him anything, and you might find out shortly after that the answer you get is 0% accurate. And it doesn't, I swear to God, it doesn't even annoy me anymore. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't even bother me. Don't care. Maize and Blue, the Planetary System School Project. Blue State Rob says he's the George Santos of the family. Oh, that's a great reference. By the way, Rob sent me a story that is really good. It's an interesting story. It's horrible in scope, but I got it, and I what I discovered that is in the College World Series. And Rob, I don't know if you did all the research on this. I don't know why I did, but I did. At the College World Series, Florida is playing Texas A&M. And then all of a sudden, two Texas A&M fans come and they're leaning like over the rail that separates the fans, like the stands from the field. And they're kind of like trying to angle their heads so that the coach, the manager of the Florida Hurricanes, Florida Hurricanes baseball team will hear them. And they're like, you fucking asshole. You killed kids. You kill people. You kill people. And everybody's like, what? What's going on? What is that all about? And what did I say? Florida Hurricanes? Miami Hurricanes. Sorry. No, it was the Florida Gators. Florida Gators baseball team. I'm fucking this up already, but it doesn't matter. Florida Gators. So they're wondering, why are those Texas A&M fans? I mean, typically if you're going to heckle someone, you'd be like, you guys stink, or I don't know, whatever. But this was like weird. They're looking at the manager of the Florida Gators baseball team and calling him, saying, you've killed people. Well, they ended up throwing these fans out. And Rob wrote, these guys are the assholes of the day, man. And I'm like, it sure does sound like it. But then I'm like, why? What's going on? Well, what had happened was a couple years ago, the 11-year-old bat boy for the Florida Gators and his brother were minding their own business in the house. Now, they had no idea, but at the time, their dad had just gotten word. He had just figured out that his wife was having an affair. And this guy was upset, as you could imagine. That's a tale as old as time. Where it takes a wildly horrible, nightmarish turn is he then goes, gets a gun, and the two kids are sitting there playing video games in the room. The guy walks in and goes, they go, hey, Dad, how are you? He goes, hey, I'm doing pretty good. Bam, bam. He shoots them both dead. And then he pours gas all in the house, lights a match, shoots himself in the head. This happened. It's the bat boy for the baseball team. The two Texas A&M fans that were yelling that to the Florida Gators coach The coach was having an affair with that dude's wife. The wife tells the husband, he kills the kids, lights the house on fire, kills himself. 2 years later, that chick is married to the manager of the Florida Gators fucking baseball team. Holy shit. So when Rob sent that, I wasn't sure because I didn't know anything of this story. I just heard that what you sent me. But that's why those guys were screaming at the manager of the baseball team to say, yeah, you killed people. Which, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I would say that manager and Mrs. Dead Kid is, there's definitely some responsibility there. I mean, ultimately, if your wife's cheating on you and you go and fucking kill your kids, there's no doubt it's the fault of that crazy dad. He was obviously a lunatic. So you got this dude who's a fucking, at least this is in my mind what's happening. He was a psychopath and probably abused the wife. All right? Either emotionally, mentally, physically, who the fuck knows? And then she confides in baseball manager. The rest is history. Dad finds out about it. Hubby finds out about it. Goes even more crazy. Then that happens. And then all right. That is an absolute nightmare scenario. My God. Maureen says, I guess it's how you hurt a woman most deeply. Kill her kids. Blue State Rob says, yeah, I had a hard time finding the story that explained the love triangle, but that is it. Then he writes, I still respect that guy more than Greg. Come on. Jesus. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know any real sides of this story. All I know is what happened are the facts. Kenny writes, people who cheat destroy tons of things that they don't realize. I don't know though. I think that you gotta learn everything because, like for example, let's just say in a hypothetical, mom of dead kids, Mrs. Dead Kid. What if she's getting abused and baseball coach is, trying to talk her through it, and then one thing leads to another, and then, now she's like, oh, finally someone who's listening to me. That happens all the time. We don't know. Or maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe it was much more sinister. And then dad had a screw loose that she didn't know about. We don't know. But you're right. I mean, had she ultimately just ended the relationship or tried to figure it out, it's still fucked up. This is so fucked up. But I think the whole part about Mrs. Dead Kid, Mommy Dead Kid, marrying Florida coach, I don't know, man. I don't know how you pick up the pieces after your children are pass away like that, are murdered brutally. How do you do anything? Knowing the fact that, I mean, he murdered the kids because you were having an affair with that guy. I'm kind of with the hecklers who were giving shit to a baseball coach. I can understand why maybe they know somebody. Texas A&M fans heckled Coach Kevin O'Sullivan over affair. Witnesses share details. I don't know why this is happening here. I have a feeling like I'm about to get some type of virus if I click on the story anymore. Anyway, that's why it all went down. When you sent it to me, I was like, I don't know if he's aware of what is happening in the story. Rebecca says, I would be in a padded room. Yeah. I don't even like to think about it. All right. Thank you to everybody who's watching this show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's time to kick you out, though. You've been a great audience, as always. The rest of the show is on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That's where you need to be to get the show in its entirety. Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. 7 days free when you sign up. Put in a payment form. Cancel it right after. You still get the 7 days. You won't be charged. Then if you want to sign up again because you like what you saw, well, just sign up again, and then you off you go. $5 or $10 a month. Good to go. The audio version of what you're hearing right now is available wherever you download shows shortly after I complete this podcast. I appreciate you so much. Follow me on all my platforms. That helps. I know this is a lot, but every little bit helps. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, support the sponsors. Thank you to all of them. All right. So if you're watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube, I'm going to kick you out. Follow me on Twitter.